What's up, everybody? It is October 1st. It is 2018. It is a brand new month. And of course, did everybody say rabbit, rabbit, rabbit this morning? Because if you didn't, you're freaking screwed. You might as well go back to bed, start over, do it again. You got to say rabbit, rabbit, rabbit. My camera's a little bit off here. Yeah, you know, this is what we call discombobulated. And Crunchy. Crunchy is first in the building. Where is Tessrim? Tessrim is always there with gentlemen. Now he is not there. He's at work. He's at work. Tessrim has to work too. Crunchy's here. Fluke is here. IPC is K. Noah Hussein X. SAMIK 81. And I do have a bit of background noise that is going on right now. You guys probably can't hear it, but the garbage truck. Yeah, the garbage truck. Monday at about this time is when the garbage trucks come and they pick up the garbage, the recyclables, the leaves, you know, like when you mow your lawn, that type of stuff. You know what Job does for me on Wednesdays. They're picking all of that stuff up. So slight apologies for maybe some background noise there. Bullet Ape says, greetings, programs. Greetings, programs. And are we all just a bunch of programs? We could very well be. If you listen to Elon Musk, we are probably not in the base reality. The chances that we are in the base reality, extremely remote if you go down that Elon Musk pathway. And Kevgret says, I am Astro Bot. Yeah, man, tomorrow, guys, tomorrow we are going to get our hands on Astro Bot. And you know, it's funny because I've been truly blessed. I really am blessed. I get a lot of keys for a lot of these various VR games. But not Sony. Sony is the one publisher out there that I almost never, well, really, I pretty much never I've never gotten a key from Sony directly. I don't even know who I'm supposed to contact at Sony to even try to get a key for a game. Now, of course, if there's third-party developers, third-party publishers that are putting out games, I can contact them and try to get a game. Sony, it's not gonna, it hasn't happened at least. I don't know that it's not going to happen, but it hasn't happened. Although there's people that have reviews. There's a ton of reviews that are already out there for Astro Bot. I think if you go to actually upload VR, let's see here. Let me grab. Don't have anything set up really today. No browser windows or anything. But if I go to upload VR, I believe that they have reviewed Astro Bot, and I think they gave it like a 8.5 out of 10. Let's see here. Yeah, 8.5 out of 10. They gave it a great rating. I can switch over here to my web browser with small video window. And yeah, Astro Bot Rescue Mission Review, a PSVR platforming triumph. Positives. Fantastic use of VR, holds surprises around every corner. Brilliant platforming augmented by VR. 52 levels. 52 levels hold hours of content. Negatives, occasionally frustrating. You know, I mean, that kind of sounds like every game under the sun, you know, everything is occasionally frustrating, right? But we got an 8.5 score out of 10. I've seen other scores out there. Like if you go to the PSVR subreddit, there's a lot of other like Push Square, all these other websites that have reviewed Astro Bot, and the ratings are even better. So it's kind of funny because upload VR, not quite as hyped. For example, let's go over here real quick. This is the PSVR subreddit. Astro Bot Rescue Mission, a 10 out of 10. A masterpiece on IGN Japan. Okay, IGN Japan, and this of course is Japan Studios. So a little bit of a grain of salt there. Astro Bot Rescue Mission getting a 92 average in first round of reviews. Metacritic 11 reviewers. It's got an average of 89 for Astro Bot. And so there are a lot of Astro Bot reviews. ShaneTheGamer.com has a review. See, why is Shane the Gamer getting Astro Bot, but Anthony the gamer is not. That is unfair, man. It's not cool, bro. Don't like that. All right, but anyway, yeah, I will be playing Astro Bot one way or another. And so looking at chat, let's see what's going on here. James Davis 911 says hello. What is up, James? Noah is here. Still got to do an interview with Noah. Still have not sat down and figured out how to do interviews on this program. I've been busy with a lot of things. Noah's probably thinking, what the hell is wrong with Anthony? How hard is this? But I got to tell you, folks, I'm working on a lot of stuff. I'm not twiddling my thumbs. I promise you, I am not twiddling my thumbs. I am not watching episode after episode of some various TV show on Netflix. My wife is watching this show called Ozark or something like that, and watches episode after episode after episode. Let me go on a little Netflix rant for just a second here. I think any of you that go on Netflix and you watch episode after episode after episode of a show, if it's a really good show, you're actually doing yourself a disservice. Like, if you're going to watch Black Mirror, watch a single episode. Watch a single episode and just chill. Just watch one episode, and then maybe like 4 or 5 days later, watch another episode, because then you have a chance for the episode that you just saw to marinate. And over a couple of days, you might think about that episode. You might think, man, that was such a good episode. But when you guys watch episode after episode after episode and you start marathoning these episodes, they all just blend into each other and you don't remember stuff. I think you're doing a disservice to yourself if it's a really good TV program. Now, if it's kind of like some miscellaneous show that you're not that into, that's a different story. But if you're really into it, I think you gotta marinate with it. You know, that's my thought there. Now, Bullet Ape says, if we were in a simulation right now, we'd have better VR. This is pretty good VR, if this is VR, you know. If it's like that one episode from Rick and Morty, this is pretty good VR. And then I Am Rut says, Transference, Anthony, did you finish it? Yes, and I have actually finished Transference. Oh my God, it is a miracle. Can you folks believe it? I have finished Transference. This is truly a glorious day. Let's go ahead and do this. I finished Transference. I finished a game. I have finished a game. Ladies and gentlemen, I have finished a game. Oh my God, I have finished a game. So yeah, I mean, I don't finish games a lot. That's my MO, right? You know, they call me Iceberg Slim. I'm always on the tip of the iceberg, just scratching the very tip of the iceberg. And I typically don't get deep down in there and plow down in there and see everything that a game has to offer. There are so many games out there, seriously, so many games out there where I've finished like 80% of the game, maybe even 85% of the game, and then I move off to something else. And then there's that game, it's 85% finished, but I haven't put it to bed. Well, I have put Transference to bed, and let me tell you, the ending of the game, really good, man. This game right here is something else. I mentioned the other day, actually, I think it was on VR Roundtable episode yesterday. Okay, got a garbage truck. It's right out front. Hold on, I'm gonna let this garbage truck pass because it's pretty freaking loud. Let me go ahead and check chat while we're doing it. Hybrid Energy says, what are we celebrating? We're celebrating the fact that I have finally finished a game. Now, it happens to be a very short game. We're talking 2-3 hours or whatever that Transference is, but I know I've spent 3 hours. I have spent at least 3 hours, so that's kind of cool. Crunchy says, so which games have you ever finished? Is Transference really the first? No. I have finished other games. Transference is just a recent game that I finally finished. So yeah, and then Trevor Jones says, dude, no spoilers. Okay, well, I will really try to stay away from spoilers, But what I will say is when I was on VR Roundtable yesterday, and I said that as I'm going through Transference and I'm playing Transference, it kind of feels like a Black Mirror episode. Well, when I won't spoil it, but when you when it's all over with, when you're going through the ending of Transference, it's even more of a Black Mirror episode than I thought previously. So that was really cool. So really like the Transference, and I got to tell you, there legitimately are moments in Transference where I am I'm scaled. I am scared to death. There are brief moments in Transference where I get freaked the hell out. Now let me take off. I'm going to get off this trailer because I made this little 9-second clip. This is with Hallelujah, Hallelujah playing in the background. Hallelujah, Hallelujah, Hallelujah. I have finally finished the game. Yay. Okay, so let me see if I can get it onto a different Transference trailer here. Well, you know, one of the things, let me put this on. So one of the things I'll talk about Transference, and I definitely will try to avoid spoilers here. Okay, so I think this guy's name is Macon Blair. Let me double check here. Is this guy's name Macon? Yeah, Macon Blair. Okay, so this is the actor that plays the main role in Transference. So he's kind of like, and here he is with a completely different hairstyle, looking completely different, but this is Macon Blair. There he is again right there, this actor Macon Blair. And here he is with Elijah Wood, and they are sitting there and they're talking about like some Sundance Film Festival or something like that. But this guy is featured in Transference. You know, he's the main guy that you see when you see all the trailers and stuff. He's the guy whispering and talking and all that stuff. And he did a fantastic job. And the thing about Transference is it's a video game, but there's also legitimate acting performances that are very brief that happen within Transference. Like a brief little 4 or 5 second clip. And I think Spectravision and Ubisoft, okay, I'll take it off of here now. We don't need to look at this guy's mug repeatedly. Let me find a different Transference trailer to throw in here. But the thing that I liked about what Spectravision did, and you know, I don't know how much Ubisoft was involved with it, but what I liked about what they did here is they captured brief snippets of these actors doing different things. And then like this guy right here, like you see it in Transference. He's always in here. He's always talking to the camera and stuff. And he does such a good performance, I think. And you'll see snippets of him. Like you'll see him standing down the hallway talking to you. Or you'll see the little kid like slamming a door and screaming at you about something. Or the wife. And it's like these fragments of memories. Like right there. Like you'll see somebody standing down the hall. Then they go running away. And so they mix that in. And I like what they did here. And I really think this Macon Blair guy, like he did a really good job. Like this game, if he was not as good as he was in this game would have fallen apart. But this game really drew me into the overall experience with these different video clips. And then also with the videos that are playing in the background. So like you'll see all these different monitors. You'll do something, you'll activate something, and then you know, all these things start happening, and then you'll see all these monitors start popping up. And this might be a tiny minor spoiler here, but at the very end, like when you're finally wrapping this thing up, all these monitors start appearing everywhere, and they're really big. And they're really clear. And it makes me kind of think of our AR future, you know, Magic Leap and all that stuff. Noah, you'd probably really like Transference because of the way they throw these monitor screens all over. It really feels almost like AR. Like, you know, you're in a real reality and then they're throwing up all these big screens that look pretty good and have pretty good resolution. I was really quite impressed with that. So Lethal Weasel VR says he missed one of the video logs. He's going to have to go back in sometime. And yeah, I guess the way I understand it is there's lots of little Easter eggs and stuff that were kind of mixed in here within Transference. But I'm a big fan of this game. I feel like it's one of the best, most impactful VR games that we've got in recent memory, especially in short bursts, like very specific windows here. And I think the third delivery truck, the third garbage truck has just arrived. God damn it. You know what I want, folks? I'm going to tell you right now. Here's what I really would like. I really would like a soundproof room. I can't even begin to tell you how much I would love to have a soundproof room where I don't hear a single freaking airplane, no barking dogs, no phones ringing in the other room, nobody knocking on my front door like a Jehovah's Witness. And I saw them walking around my neighborhood today. I saw a couple Jehovah's Witnesses walking around. And James Davis 911 says, look, man, I can't hear the trucks. I don't hear the airplanes. I don't hear the barking dogs. But I hear it. And it freaking throws my train of thought off. And it pisses me off. And then the other thing, too, is if you really, 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 really want to get hardcore into VR, wouldn't you want to play your VR stuff in a soundproof room? Because you're trying to immerse yourself. Main Fan says, we don't hear it. We hear you talking about it. I know. But if you wear headphones, you probably will hear it. The other day when I was talking about an airplane flying over, if you wore headphones, you absolutely would hear it. But if you don't hear headphones, you won't hear it. But what I will say, though, is if you really, really, really want to be immersed in VR, you almost need to completely eliminate every light source so there's no external light source, so there's no distraction from any kind of a light that's creeping into your headset, or you look down, you can see any kind of light. You would want to be in pitch black darkness. You would also want to be in a soundproof room. You'd want to be in a soundproof room. You wouldn't want to hear a barking dog, an airplane, a police siren, or an ambulance, or your wife yelling at your kid, or a phone ringing, or whatever. How many times have you guys been in VR and you hear somebody screaming about something down the hallway, or yelling, or somebody's doing dishes? Like this room that I'm in right here, this room that you guys see, the kitchen is right there. And so like I got hear like freaking, plates banging or whatever, things being cooked, dishwasher going off. I kind of really wish I was in a soundproof booth. And I can tell you, yesterday I was talking about winning the lottery. If I win the lottery, I'm going to run out there and buy a Ferrari 458 Spider. Well, the next thing I would buy is I would buy a house, and then I would say, okay, I want you to take this room and soundproof the F out of this thing, okay? And make it pitch black when I want it to be pitch black. And then I would get into VR, and it would be absolutely beautiful. It would be absolutely awesome. And so that's a little rant right there. Okay, Fluke Rogi says, dropped out for a few seconds there. And it's interesting, too, because the other day I was watching, or I was editing one of my shows the other day, and the sound dropped out for like 10 seconds randomly. I don't know what was going on. Oh, and then people are saying, wait a minute, bro, if you win the lottery, you better buy that Star VR headset. Absolutely. Shit, I just create a freaking VR arcade, the ideal VR arcade that I really would want to do, which is basically I would want to do The Void, but a ghetto version of The Void. Like whatever the budget is for The Void, divide that by 50. And that's what, the ghetto version of The Void, that's what I would love to do. But anyway, I'm going on way too long here. We did talk a little bit about finishing Transference. I thought that was awesome. I'm glad I finished Transference, not that it's awesome that I finished Transference. There has been a little bit of talk about Vox Machinae that I thought was kind of interesting. And I thought we could talk about Vox Machinae just for a second here, because as much as I love Vox Machinae, and I really love it, I love the cockpit, I love that little cyborg lady, that Max Headroom lady that talks to you every once in a while, I love all the indicators, I think it's just done so well. But this one guy had a post on the Vive subreddit where he's throwing a little bit of shade on the gameplay of Vox Machinae. And you know what? I'm kind of inclined to agree with some of the stuff that he's talking about here. So let me go over to that because I thought this was interesting. I don't know if you guys agree on this. Those of you that are banging away on a regular basis on Vox Machinae, check this out. So this is the Vive subreddit right here, and there's this thread here. My take on Vox Machinae. This is by Atari XIC89. So I think he has a pretty interesting take here. And so he says, look, the game is great. It feels very immersive in both VR and on regular screens. Its UI is simple and easy to use and runs well. If you've played MechWarrior Online, the mouse plus keyboard controls will feel very similar. Right now, there's only 5 grinder mech classes and a handful of weapons, including lasers, autocannons. Okay, here's where he starts to throw the shade a little bit. However, I want to talk about what I feel are problems with the game's staying power. I enjoyed the games I played, but I find myself uncompelled to return to the game, and I want to point out why that is. Simply put, the game lacks tactical depth I have grown accustomed to in other mech games. Currently, you're in the biggest or the smallest mech. It doesn't feel like there's much of a difference in health. And then he also talks about how you're just kind of firing at your opponents and you don't really feel like anything is going on. Like the guy breaks it down pretty well. He breaks it down pretty well, and he says that I feel there is a very low skill ceiling in the game, which is why I have trouble returning to the game after the novelty of the amazing immersion wears off. And there is a novelty factor to the amazing immersion. It does have amazing immersion, but I do kind of feel what this guy's talking about. It kind of boils down, like every time I've been into Vox Machinae, I don't know if you guys have found it to be similar, but I love the game. I'm playing it, I'm loving it, and every day I think about playing more of it. But when I am in this game, and you're moving around, and then you see a bad guy, and then you start firing your missiles at the bad guy, and then like a bunch of them will swarm on you, and then you just get hammered and you're dead, and then you're waiting for your new mech to spawn, and then it's like rinse and repeat. And I haven't figured out like any kind of a real strategy, like how do you survive in this game and not get killed right away? I don't know. I haven't figured out the nuances of that. And I do feel like the gameplay, like everything is great about it, but then the core gameplay has a bit of some issues there. But I mean, I still like the game overall. I still think it's an outstanding game. I still think it's a great game to recommend to pretty much everybody out there. But it's not perfect. It's not perfect. And this guy kind of, the honeymoon period is over, says Chris Cox. No, I mean, it's what this guy talks about. Some of the things that he's talking about in here, he really kind of breaks it down pretty much. He says, I don't get the sense that focusing on subcomponents, like if you're trying to shoot another mech's arm or you're trying to shoot its leg, he says he doesn't feel like that is worth the time versus simply shooting at the center of mass. Because of this, he feels there's a very low skill ceiling in the game. And he talks about how, you know, in terms of hit points, you could be in the biggest or smallest mech, but it doesn't seem like there's any real difference there in terms of the health factor. And then the weapons, you kind of have the same missiles, you know, the lasers. You don't have a lot of stuff to work with. There's also no real defensive strategy you can have other than trying to like stay a little bit farther away and trying to attack from a distance. And then I guess defensively, what I've been doing defensively, I don't know if you guys have done this as well, but what I've been doing defensively is I try to save my jump jets for when I start to get attacked, then bam, I activate those jump jets and I try to get the hell out of dodge. But your jump jets, like you'll notice like the amount of gas that you have for your jump jets, it runs out really quickly. So you can't get too far away. So it's almost like you need to be next to like a mountain kind of and battling guys and then save your jump jets to try to get back behind the mountain before you get hammered too much. I don't know. Do you guys have strategies? Curious about that. But Crunchy is saying, the reason I want Mech Warrior VR is because of the campaign those games have. So he kind of wants, are you saying like more of a single player campaign that you want to have as well? Fluke says, I bought it earlier, I played for an hour, had enough of it already. Oh, wow. Your honeymoon period lasted really, really quickly there, Fluke. You might want to refund it then in that case. But he says the cockpit, etc. feels great, but I actually thought the game was dull, despite being in a giant mech. Well, the game is surprisingly slower paced for a multiplayer game, which I actually like, because I feel like so many multiplayer games are so incredibly chaotic that I don't have time to get my bearings. I don't have time to like figure out what the hell is going on. And next thing you know, bam, I'm dead. Firewall 0 hour, Space Junkies, you know, some stuff like that. I get in there, bam, I'm dead. And the nice thing about getting into this game is it takes a while. You don't immediately get into the center of the action. And so, but that can kind of be slow for other people. So I can see how Fluke wasn't totally pleased with that. And Crunchy says, so you can't torso twist to change where you get hit? Well, you can turn your mech a little bit, but I don't know if it affects how you're being hit by the other missiles. Kevin Mars says, after all the comments, might have to refund it after an hour. I'm still saying, wait a minute, I'm still saying Vox Machinae is still a great game, but I don't know that we necessarily need to say, like, this is the best VR game ever, which some people are going a little bit overboard on that. I still feel like it's a solid game for 25 bucks, but I think we need to be careful here in terms of how crazy we go down that road. Okay, so let's see here. One thing I wanted to comment on. Now, I'm going to switch up to, I wasn't able to render this in time, but I do have some pictures that I can go to that I wanted to cover really quick here. What are the games of October? And let's kind of go over some of the games of October. So let's see here. Okay, yeah, this is funny. I haven't been in, this is my full screen picture mode where I can just bring up a picture of something. And so here we go. Let me get this centered properly. Hold on one sec here, folks. Okay, so this is the games of October for 2018. And today, October 1st, Red Lucid Nightmare is coming to PC VR. It's coming to the Rift and the Vive. As far as I know, this should be available today. Red Lucid Nightmare, another horror game for all you horror fans. So many of you just can't wait for every horror game that is coming down the pipe. I know some of you definitely are not interested in that. Tomorrow, October 2nd, Astro Bot. It's basically Astro Bot Day. If you don't have a PlayStation VR, sucks for you, because I know 52 levels, baby. 52 levels of Astro Bot. How awesome is that? But remember, if you don't have a PlayStation VR, Twilight Path. Were you a huge, huge fan of Form by Charm Games? Because Twilight Path is coming out tomorrow, October 2nd. And I think Twilight Path is 15 bucks. So it's not like super duper expensive, but it could be very short, like Form was very short. Also coming tomorrow is Racket for Fury Table Tennis VR for PlayStation VR. I'm not that hyped. Not that hyped on Racket Fury. And then on October 3rd, which is Wednesday of this week, Zero Killed. Zero Killed. And there is like a closed beta or whatever that I've been in Zero Killed. I've only been in it for a short period of time. Graphics look really good, but with October 3rd approaching, this is going to be available. I might try to get into some more games of Zero Killed so I can give you guys a better take of that. Okay, let's go to page number 2. Page number 2 for the games of October. October 4th is Witching Tower VR. I will have my thoughts on this pretty soon. I believe VR Roundtable just got a key for Witching Tower VR. So I will be talking about this. That is coming up later this week. And then on Friday, Smash Hit Plunder. I'm still trying to find out, is this Europe only, or is this for USA as well, but Smash Hit Plunder. Then on October 9th, we have Evasion coming to all major platforms. We have The Great Sea, which is more of a VR experience. We have Home Sweet Home, which is coming to PlayStation VR. And then we have The Exorcist Legion, chapters 4 and 5 are coming on October 9th. And hold on a sec, we got one more page to get to. I wanted to render these. I didn't have time before the show, so I could put them into my normal thing here. But on October 10th, Assetto Corsa Competizione, which I misspelled there, my apologies. But basically on October 10th, the VR portion of this game is unlocked. So it's already available, I think, but basically we're waiting for October 10th for the VR version. On October 12th, we have Stardust VR. And then sometime in October, there is Mind Labyrinth Dreams VR and Tabletop Basketball VR. So these are all the games that are coming in October. A lot of big games are coming in October. I'm trying to see here. I'm trying to think, like, which one of these... I mean, what's the biggest game coming in October? I mean, it's basically Astro Bot. I mean, Astro Bot is the biggest game of October, I would have to say at this point in time. But those of you that have no PlayStation VR, you're not going to think that's the biggest game in October. And then probably after that, I would have to say would be Evasion. Evasion looks pretty damn good. I'm going to throw on an Evasion trailer. Let's throw on an Evasion trailer real quick. I think Evasion looks good. Like, I was not interested in Evasion. You couldn't have paid me to be interested in Evasion the first couple of times I saw it. But seeing more footage of Evasion, it looks pretty freaking cool. This is like a PlayStation Underground video where they're talking about it, and dude's playing it with an aim controller.
Justin, how would you describe this game?
Well, it's a first-person shooter. It's actually got a really cool co-op component to it if you have two players playing simultaneously, where you can use this tether thing. Well, I'm not doing it right now because there's nothing to tether, but you can tether.
But yeah, I think Evasion looks pretty good. That is October 9th. And then Witching Tower VR. Witching Tower VR is a little bit later this week. Let me see if I can find that Witching Tower VR trailer. Because, yeah, here's the Witching Tower VR trailer. Although I remember with this trailer, this is being brought to us by Daily Magic Productions. And most of this trailer is like CGI cinemas and stuff. And it's only at the very end do they start to get into some gameplay. But Witching Tower VR looks pretty good. But yeah, I'm kind of curious, what do you guys think? Like, what is the biggest game of October? It does look like kind of a slower month. You know, it's a bit of a slower month so far in October, although typically what has happened a lot of times is it's looking really slow, but there could be a lot of other games that leak out all of a sudden and start to leak out and start to come out. So this is Witching Tower VR, and when you get to the very end of it, it does show some pretty good gameplay. And I can tell you, after playing some more Carnage Chronicles, dungeon crawler games are awesome in VR. It's one of the things that we've learned is horror. Horror games work very, very well in VR. Puzzle games work very, very well in VR. But dungeon crawlers work very, very well in VR as well. And I think we're finally about to get to the gameplay part of this trailer. So let's check this out. That still could be CGI there. Okay, now I think we're about to get to the gameplay. Yeah, so here we get a little bit of some gameplay view here. You see the bow and the arrow there. You see some light puzzles, some looting, some chests to open up. You can see some of the bad guys you're going to have to deal with, kind of Vanishing Realm style. Does look like there's some light puzzles, kind of like the gallery. So, I don't know. It looks pretty good. I mean, the proof is obviously going to be in the play, the gameplay. How well does the gameplay work? After just playing Carnage Chronicles, I mean, if it can work as well as Carnage Chronicles, then this is going to be another super impressive dungeon crawler. So that looks pretty good. Now, Paradise Decay, he has kind of a wrap-up here. He says, at VR Game Rankings, quick roundup. Red Lucid has issues. Witching Tower has been delayed. Twilight Path is superb. Great stories and great story and characters, innovative puzzles. So Witching Tower being delayed, so I heard it was delayed till October 5th. But then I go to Steam, it says October 4th. You would think if Witching Tower is really being delayed, like, wouldn't the developers update the Steam page and let people know? So is Witching Tower not, Witching Tower VR, Steam. Okay, Witching Tower VR, Steam. Because I believe it was on the, oh shit, it has been delayed. Hey guys, we got a live update. I looked at this, I believe, well, yesterday. Yesterday I looked at this and it said October 4th. Now it says October 25th. October 25th. So the Witching Tower VR has been delayed. This is now October 25th. Okay, so yeah, that has been delayed. Because I remember, I thought it was Arthan's VR was saying it was delayed till like October 5th. Which was like one day, but now we're seeing October 25th. So maybe Arthan's VR forgot that little 2 in front of the 5 because it was like, why would you delay a game a single day? Although sometimes that does happen. And Twilight Path, yeah, I do have a Twilight Path trailer I can throw on. I actually got like a preview early look kind of code at Twilight Path, and I played it. And it's good, you know. It was enjoyable, plenty enjoyable. It's kind of short, and you probably want to be into these puzzle games that Charm Games does, like Form, as you can see here from the creators of Form. Let's check out this trailer real quick. I think it's kind of short, but yeah, this is Twilight Path. This is coming tomorrow, I believe, $15. I'll look it up on Steam while this is going. Yeah, October 2nd for Twilight Path, and I believe $15. Not seeing a price on here, but I'm pretty sure it's $15. That is coming from Charm Games tomorrow. So yeah, I mean, nice visuals. It's an interesting little story that is going on here as well in Twilight Path. You're kind of with these little characters. It's a magical kind of a world. Pretty cool. So that will be coming out tomorrow. And obviously Astro Bot. So I'll see what folks are talking about here in chat. Crunchy says, my Steam page says 25th. Yeah, they must have just updated it because I swear I was looking at it last night and it still said October 4th, I believe. I Am Rhett says, I have From Other Suns. Amazing, amazing, especially if you like Faster Than Light, FTL. Yeah, From Other Suns. There's a oldie but goodie that a lot of people don't talk about too much. And Paradise Decay says he's actually enjoying Twilight Path more than Form, and a lot of people swear by Form. So Twilight Path will be out tomorrow. Chris Cox says 2019 is looking good with Defector, Stormland, Lone Echo 2, the Respawn game. Yeah, we have a number of games that are being kind of delayed into 2019. And Blood and Truth, what about Dreams? Dreams for PlayStation VR is 2019. Ace Combat 7 for PlayStation VR is 2019. And Blood and Truth, we still don't have a launch day for Blood and Truth. So it's possible that Blood and Truth could be a 2019 game as well. Although I'm really hoping that that's not the case, because I kind of want Blood and Truth a hell of a lot earlier than that. But yeah, so we do have a number of interesting games that are coming in October. Let me see if there's anything else I should highlight. Well, you know, I mean, Smash Hit Plunder. I was talking about this the other day. Smash Hit Plunder is coming from Triangular Pixels. That is the developer of Unseen Diplomacy, and it's very retro looking, and it has like co-op, but the co-op for it is designed to basically the co-op is kind of like, what's that game, Carly and the Reaper Man. So the co-op is like they want to have somebody in the same room with you with a controller, so one person has the VR headset on, and then up to 3 other people can be in the controller, on a controller. So you can actually have 4 people playing Smash Hit Plunder simultaneously. 4 of you guys can be in there, and you're basically just, this game is all about breaking shit, like throwing shit around and finding treasure, and then you're in kind of this haunted castle, And so there's going to be like ghosts and stuff that are also going to be in this game that are going to prevent you from doing what you want to do. So you're going through this castle, you're trying to find as much treasure and loot as humanly possible by smashing the hell out of everything and finding all the loot. But at the same time, you gotta battle other ghosts and goblins and stuff that are going to try to prevent you from what you're doing. And it kind of has this retro look. It kind of has like compound style graphics in a way. And yeah, there's local co-op, but you got to have people there. Like, see, it shows somebody else here playing on the sofa there with a regular DualShock 4 controller. And I think you could have 3 people doing that. So it's kind of interesting from that factor. If you're living in like a college dorm or something, this might be a kind of fun, cool game to play in a college dorm. Although doesn't everybody want to be in the goddamn VR headset? Like, I would think everybody would want the VR headset. And they're like, come on, man, I want the damn VR headset. So that is Smash Hit Plunder. That's going to be coming up as well. And let's see. So in chat, Fluke Rogi says Form was really well done, but criminally short. It's not so much criminally short now that it's a lot cheaper. But yeah, I mean, it is really, really short. Form is $15, and I've seen it on sale a number of times where you could get Form for half price, $7.50, so not too bad. Fluke, so Form's length was on a scale of Anthony to 10. Yeah, basically, that's the cool thing about Form. Form is a game I can finish. And would you believe this, ladies and gentlemen? I have not finished Form. Would you believe this? I have not finished Form. I'm probably 90% of the way through Form, but haven't finished it. So that's another one. Yeah, I do like these shorter games though, because maybe I could finally start finishing something. That would be quite beautiful. All right, so you know what? Haven't really looked at like news stories and stuff today. We could go ahead and, well, let's bounce over to Upload VR and let's see what some of the news stories are on Upload VR. It is Monday. You think there would be some new news going on. Now, one of the things some people are talking about here is Carmack. Oculus debated a PC VR mode for Quest, and this is something that a lot of people have been talking about. Why can you not just hook up your Quest headset to your PC and it could basically be an upgrade for your Oculus Rift? Why can't you use it as a replacement for your Oculus Rift? And Carmack kind of said, well, they kind of looked into it. It's not really likely, but they might kind of experiment with it, that maybe they're still going to kind of experiment with it a little bit as far as that. And you know what? I'm going to tell you what the real answer is for this. The real answer is they don't want you to be on a PC. That's the real answer is they want to move away from the PC. So honestly, I think what you guys want as far as that goes, like to have this headset that performs double duty, I understand the idea, I understand the concept, but it's not in Oculus's best interest. Their interest is to create this isolated platform that is the Oculus Quest, and so I don't think we're going to be playing Rift games on our Oculus Quest, and I don't think they're going to have a future headset that does that either. It's not in their best interest. I just don't think it's going to pop off. Okay, and then, one other thing we found out, and I forgot to update this on the on my game profile page for Vader Immortal, is that the actual developer of Vader Immortal is not really ILM X Lab. It's actually Ninja Theory, guys. It's Ninja Theory, the Hellblade developer, is actually doing Vader Immortal. Now, I'm sure they're probably being assisted by ILM X Lab, so it's probably a collaboration, kind of like SpectreVision and Ubisoft. But in this case, SpectreVision is being played by Ninja Theory, and then Ubisoft is probably ILM X Lab. They're kind of like handling maybe some producer functions as well. So that's kind of an interesting story here. And then, of course, Astro Bot, their review for Astro Bot. So we don't have a lot of news going on right now, but we do have that information that Ninja Theory is the team that is working on Vader Immortal. What do you guys think are the chances that Vader Immortal is going to be a good Star Wars game? And what is the last good Star Wars game? Because we've had so many Star Wars video games over all the years, a million Star Wars video games, and most Star Wars video games are not very good, if we're really honest about it. Like, you could even go back to the Super Nintendo. Do you guys remember Super Star Wars on the Super Nintendo? They had Super Star Wars, they had Super Empire Strikes Back, they had Super Return of the Jedi. I believe they were all published by JVC, and I think it was made by like Lucasfilms, but no, they were made by Sculptured Software, I believe, way back in the days, back in the old Super Nintendo days. And although those games are so loved by people, if you go back and play them, they play like ass. They really do play like ass. They are frustrating as hell. They look really good, they sound really good, but frustrating as hell. We haven't really seen a very good Star Wars game in quite some time. I would say maybe the last truly great Star Wars game was the GameCube game, like Rogue Squadron, Rogue Leader 2 or whatever, the Star Wars game that launched. Oh, here we go. Prince Alexander. Super Nintendo Star Wars games were really good. No, they weren't. No, they weren't good. I'm telling you, Prince Alexander, fire up an emulator today and play Super Star Wars. That is your assignment. Prince Alexander, I'm giving you a homework assignment. Get some kind of emulator and play Super Star Wars for about a half an hour and then tell me it was good. The graphics are good. The sound is good. The gameplay is ass. It is frustrating as hell. But see, that's where we have these, rose-colored sunglasses or whatever, these memories where we remember things being much better than they ever really were. Crunchy says, I liked Empire at War and Force Unleashed. Force Unleashed was halfway decent. Force Unleashed was halfway decent. Yeah, Crunchy is saying Super Star Wars was hard as hell. It was hard as hell to the point that it was no longer fun. And Prince Alexander says, wait a minute, you just have to put yourself into the mind. No, dude, a 12-year-old would have taken his Super Nintendo controller and thrown that shit at the wall after a while with all those Jawas constantly messing with you. Because I remember that very first level in Super Star Wars on the Super Nintendo where it's the big Jawa thing and you're like jumping around and climbing on it. Oh man, that level is so goddamn frustrating. Chris Richardson says Pod Racer. What about Pod Racer? Yeah, Pod Racer was pretty good. And, oh, Jedi Knight, bro. Paul Smith. Now, this is the #1 response in chat. This is the winner. Dark Forces Jedi Knight. Do you guys remember when that first came to the PC? Jedi Knight? I don't remember. What year was that? Was that like 1996 or something? Oh, I got so lost in that Jedi Knight game. I love that game because you were like in that Star Wars world. That was such a cool game. And then Gerard O'Hara says KOTOR, hands down the best one, probably on the original Xbox maybe. Yeah, a lot of people love KOTOR. I was never really into those styles of games, but super cool. I mean, very highly respected. But hopefully with Ninja Theory and hopefully with Vader Immortal, we're going to get a good VR Star Wars game. We got to really hope they knock that shit out of the park. And you would think Ninja Theory, man, you're given the keys to the Lambo with the Star Wars franchise. Yeah, Dark Forces, but I'm talking about Dark Forces 2 Jedi Knight. That was the game. Dark Forces 2 Jedi Knight. Dark Forces 1 was basically just a mod of Doom pretty much, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. And Hybrid Energy, Star Wars Masters of Terras Kasi, best Star Wars ever, LOL. Yeah, and the emphasis is on LOL, because definitely not. The entire line of Dark Forces Jedi Knight games were great. That's Crunchy. And Prince Alexander says Force Unleashed was pretty good. That would work well in VR. Yeah, you know, who was the developer of Force Unleashed? I don't remember the team that actually developed that. Although I know Lucasfilm or LucasArts. LucasArts used to be, there used to be a thing called LucasArts. I don't think they exist anymore. I think they shut down. But they would have a lot of, they used to do Star Wars games back in the day. Might as well throw, I guess, throw Vader Immortal trailer on since we're talking so much about Star Wars. Yeah, I thought it was maybe ILM X Labs that was developing this, but this is Ninja Theory. And we don't really get hardly any actual footage here of the game. I mean, that's probably the real game right there. This might be the real game right here. That's probably the real game. And then we get a couple of seconds of Darth. And Darth does appear to be, like, this does appear to be real quest footage. That's your snappy 435 for you.
Wonder why I have brought you here.
Probably not the actual voice of James Earl Jones, but whoever is doing that impression doing a pretty damn good job. That is coming 2019, and that is a spring 2019 release for the Oculus Quest. So definitely some hype there. That's what we found out about that Star Wars. Okay, let me throw on some other miscellaneous trailer. We can throw on this Final Assault trailer, which this one is coming from Phaser Lock Interactive. Oh, Dark Forces 2 Jedi Knight was in 1997. Yeah, that's one of my favorite PC gaming memories of all time. And I bet you if I went back into that game right now, I would think it was such ass. But I can tell you, man, 1997, I was playing Jedi Knight like a mofo. Really love Jedi Knight. Bullet Ape still has nightmares about Star Wars Galaxies. Worst game ever. And Asper Media played a role in developing Force Unleashed. They're the ones that did Torn. So everything loops back upon itself. And then Crunchy's remembering a full motion video. Oh, was that like Star Wars Chess? Or there was Star Wars Rebel Assault, which was full motion video. That was like on the original PlayStation. But I thought we might go ahead and bounce over to Road to VR. Let's see if there's any news going on at Road to VR. I'll go ahead and refresh this real quick. Okay, here we are in Road to VR, and you gotta love these t-shirts, right? Clothing monster, baby. Like, if I wore this dog t-shirt to like a a barbecue or something, just freaking execute me on the spot. Seriously. If I wore this Dalmatian t-shirt, like, I should buy one of these as a joke. I should buy one of these as a joke. Like, shoot me on the spot if you see me wearing one of those. But Road to VR, so Road to VR reviewed Astro Bot. They gave it 5 out of 5. Oh my goodness. 10 out of 10. Ladies and gentlemen, that's their first ever 10 out of 10. Wow, that's pretty awesome. I have not looked at this. I have not read this, but they have gave this puppy a 10 out of 10. Dude, it looks like Astro Bot is just going to be Astro Brat. Looks like Astro Brats, you're going to have your bratwurst, is freaking awesome. Wow, a huge long-ass review, too. 10, baby. 10 for Astro Bot. 10 out of 10. All of you that do not have a PSVR, head to your nearest Target store immediately, because Astro Bot is looking pretty freaking proper. No question about it. But yeah, going back to their other stories here, Mario Kart VR is coming to the USA in some of Bandai Namco's VR arcades, and Vader Immortal, I think they're probably talking about, oh, it's going to be a canonical part of the Star Wars saga. And then these are some old stories that we already heard about. Okay, so that is what's going on at Road to VR. So no real breaking news right now. What I could do is I could look at Arthan's VR or Arthan's VR or whatever the hell they're calling it, because this guy usually has some up-to-date stuff that a lot of people don't know about. So let's go ahead and pop over there real quick. So at Arthan's VR, they're talking about Last Labyrinth VR Escape the Room game. Like, we don't have enough of these coming out of our ears. But let's see. The dev staff has been revealed. There's a teaser trailer. Oh, okay. So there's a teaser trailer for Last Labyrinth. And then the Rec Room update, Carnage Chronicles. So nothing else new over there. But you know what I could do is I can go to YouTube and grab this Last Labyrinth trailer. We could check that out real quick. Let me go ahead and look that up. Last Labyrinth trailer VR. Okay, so I will just go ahead and grab this teaser trailer reel here. Even though it's at Game Trailer's website. I hate using other people's trailers. I like to go to the horse's mouth. We've talked about that a million times. Okay, skip ad. Oh, Amata. Amata. Wait, I saw that. Let me get it from the horse's mouth. Yeah, buddy. Okay, so I'll get this last Labyrinth trailer. Sorry for the little delay here, but I figure I might as well grab this and we can pop this into chat and talk about it. But yeah, so not much else is going on over here. Let's see what folks are talking about in chat. Paradise Decay says, someone buy me a PSVR, please. Dude, Paradise, so many people give you so much stuff. You would think Sony would be knocking on your door right now with a courtesy PSVR. So you're the hardest working man in showbiz. I mean, dude, Paradise, do you really want a PSVR though? Because then you are just like tripling your workflow if you add the PSVR to everything else that you're already covering. Oh my God. Hybrid Energy says, no thanks, I'm not getting a PSVR. I don't care how good Astro Bot is. And Push the Button says, Anthony, you're never gonna finish Astro Bot. It's got 52 levels. VR fan Snakebird says, system seller? Those are some pretty strong words. And Main Fan is saying, hey, that octopus in the lava, that is Mario Galaxy. They straight up stole that. And he's playing, Main Fan will play Mario Kart VR this week. So we got to have Main Fan give us a report on Mario Kart VR. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to Astro Bot. SAMIK81 says, I'm going to find some good PSVR YouTuber and watch him play through Astro Bot cheaper than buying a PS4 and a PSVR. Yeah, you're going to live vicariously through someone else, and you're not going to mess with it yourself. Okay, let me go ahead and grab this last Labyrinth trailer, throw it up on here so we can check this out live. I don't know anything about Last Labyrinth, so I will be watching it for the first time along with the rest of you guys. So let's check this out. This is super powerful, super incredible. Do you hear how this music is just building the tension? Oh my God, I can't handle this. We get it. There's a heartbeat. There's a heartbeat. Oh, spring 2019. So that shit ain't coming for a long time. We'll probably have long forgotten about that game by the time that game comes out. But basically what they did here, they said, okay, let's make an escape the room game. But here's what we're going to do. I got an idea, guys. Let's do it an escape the room game. And everybody's like, oh man, there's a million escape the room games. He's like, but wait a minute. We're going to take an anime-looking cartoon girl and put her in the room with you. And you got to save this anime cartoon girl. It completely changes the entire game, man. It makes it so much different and so much more awesome, man. And actually, I'm telling you, that is a great decision that they made by adding this little cartoon anime girl into this world. It ups the factor tremendously. You know, she's going to be turning off the lights and looking at you creepily style. Yeah, that is going to basically take it to a whole another level. So spring 2019, Last Labyrinth, you know, some of you anime escape the room lovers are going to be all over this game when it comes out. So that is Last Labyrinth. So we'll look up for that a little bit later. Push the Button says it's like Saw. It's basically like Saw. Kevgret said that actually got better as the trailer went along. Yeah, because you saw a cartoon anime girl in there and you're like, yeah, I really do want to save her. I do want to save her. Fluke says, if you're in the UK, Astro Bot is £25, including delivery from base. All your base belong to us. Person says, Jet Island all day, every day. Just saying. Dude, Jet Island, person. I need to get back into Jet Island. Haven't even touched it in so long. There literally are too many games. Remember the old cry, VR has no games? VR has too many goddamn games. It's the exact opposite problem. Okay, so I thought we could, it's 12:01, so we have been going a full hour. Can you believe that? It's already been an hour and I haven't really covered much of anything. Scratching the surface, absolutely. I mean, you want to talk about scratching the surface, Jet Island, I barely scraped the surface of that one. And it is a pretty fucking, I mean, apologies for the cuss word there. I didn't need to go down that road. It's a pretty freaking cool game. It's a pretty freaking cool game is what I meant to say. Okay, I thought we could go to the Vive subreddit, check a couple of these subreddits real quick, and see if there's any last second news stories before we bounce out of here. Mario Kart VR is coming stateside. MainFan is hoping to get some hands-on action with that. A reminder, VR puzzle Twilight Path releasing on Steam tomorrow. Yep, and the last Labyrinth teaser trailer has been released. We did see that, so that's cool. And, you know, some more talking about Vox Machinae. Is it really all that? Is it not all that? Blah, 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 blah. And that's pretty much what we going on. My take on Vox Machinae, pretty popular thread there. A little bit of a contrarian opinion. And if we go over to the Oculus Rift subreddit, they are talking about on using Quest as your PC display. Bottom line, folks, that is not going to happen. I can tell you right now, it's not going to happen. They want to get you away from the PC. They don't want to bring you closer to it. And then, oh yeah, this is kind of an interesting talk right here. Do you remember John Carmack's statement where he's saying that all VR really needs to be is screens and people? That if all VR was screens and people, it would be freaking incredible. But he's talking about both the screens and the people being done flawlessly. And I tend to agree with that. Let's think about this idea. So you guys remember Oculus's next generation machine learning stuff that they could do with like the real people, and then they put that into VR. So you're talking to somebody else in VR and it's using this machine learning to create a simulation of who you are with your lip syncing, your mouth movements, your eyes moving around, all of that, where it was really hard to tell the difference. Okay, if we can get all humans looking like that, and then if we can get the screens that are placed all over the place, like in the game Transference, where they place screens all over, and some of the screens are huge and some are smaller, and then they can get all of the screens like absolutely crystal clear, where it looks like a 4K LED HDTV that somebody has in real life right now, and we could have unlimited of those kinds of screens all over and unlimited real people, so all your buddies could be sitting on the couch and you're all right there. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I agree with John Carmack's statement. All VR really needs to be is screens and people. Like if all they could do is do that perfectly, VR would be a killer app for a hell of a lot of people. I do kind of agree with that. But that's pretty much it. I thought I would check out the PSVR subreddit real quick before we bounce out of here. It's pretty much all Astro Bot all the time on the PSVR subreddit, so I don't really need to get into that too much. One other thing I can mention is my son. You know, I've probably talked about this a couple of times. I have 2 teenage sons, right? They don't really give a rat's ass about VR. They're not into VR. I don't know why. It's kind of mysterious to me why they're not into VR. I think part of it is they're kind of scared by VR because I put them in a number of VR things that have kind of startled them, and I think they don't want to be scared, so they kind of avoid VR. But my youngest son has been playing Creed, And every day he keeps coming in and says, boxing, can I play boxing? He keeps wanting to play Creed. So he's been playing a hell of a lot of Creed. So he's really liking Creed. So that's cool. I'm glad he's playing Creed. I mean, I'm glad he's playing a VR game, actually. Conrad Lawrence says, my teenager is exactly the same way. And I Am Rut says, Anthony, my son is the same way. Dude, my sons, can you imagine if they were super into VR? They would be in paradise. Because I get all these games early. I don't have to pay for these games, most of them. And I just get tons and tons of VR games. It would be absolute paradise if they were into VR. But they're not into VR. So it's not paradise for them. It's kind of crazy. But anyway, folks, I'm getting a little bit of hot. It's really hot in this room. I don't know what is going on. I don't know why the temperature has been raised in this room, but it is getting crazy hot. These lights are beating down on me. So I am going to go ahead and bounce out of here. Let me throw on the old outro and we will call this a show. So yeah, definitely go ahead, check out the website if you get an opportunity, of course. And of course, subscribe to the channel, like the video, all those nice things. We really appreciate it. And I will be back tomorrow, 11 a.m. Pacific time. Probably will not have thoughts on Astro Bot yet because I have to wait till tomorrow to get Astro Bot. Then I've got to download Astro Bot and then get a chance to play Astro Bot. That's probably not going to happen before 11 a.m. So I'll probably be talking about Astro Bot in depth on Wednesday. So I'll definitely go ahead and do that. All right, guys, got to bounce out of here. We'll see you guys tomorrow, 11 a.m. Have a wonderful Monday. See you guys then. Take it easy. Later.